Hi everyone, and welcome to the Hive Live post-match podcast with myself, Rory Edwards, your commentator, and alongside me is co-commentator Brian Matovu. Pick the bones out of that one. What a win that is, and it means that the Bees go 12 points clear at the top of the league with 2 games over York and Forest Green, who play each other later. What a win.
Wow, like you said, what an ending as well. A 92nd minute winner from Ndlovu. Comes off the bench. Dean Brennan definitely giving him one instruction: score the goal, score the winner, be the match winner. And that's what Ndlovu did. It was a goalkeeping error, it trickled in, and the scenes of jubilation in front of a bumper crowd, it was amazing to see. The fans were rewarded, they came in their numbers today. And what that win means, like you said, 12 points clear ahead of a massive game between York and Forest Green Rovers. And that just puts Barnet firmly, they were already in the driving seat, but now they're firmly driving seat ahead to winning the National League title, and a fantastic day for everyone associated with the club.
It could have been so frustrating, couldn't it? I mean, it was 0-0. Dagenham held their own. They were resolute. They were difficult to break down. They even had a few decent counter-attacks of their own, and they don't look a bad side at all. They're just in horrendous form, and in all honesty, they'll be gutted with that, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. And like we were saying earlier, Dagenham, they just concede late on. I don't know what it is about them, but when it comes into the 90th minute, Dagenham, they just seem to always let goals in, and it's a sickener for them, given their position in the league. I mean, they're looking like they're in really big trouble. They've played like 3 games more than teams who are just a point behind them in the relegation zone. So it's sickening for them. But like you said, they didn't look like a bad team. There's a bit of quality up top. Maybe they could have done a bit better. And I just got to reference that Billy Clifford tackle. I mean, that tackle on the Parlo B, he looked like he was away to put Dagenham 1-0 ahead late on. Fantastic tackle. And that then obviously led to the winner. So a massive game, a massive goal in terms of for both sides really. But yeah, Dagenham, I thought they played a really good game, defended well. I thought Louis Jones, of course the goal was going to be a big marker of this match, but he was good in goal, made a lot of good saves, really big moments. Malcolm Hector came in on his debut, looked shaky a couple of times, but all in all, him, Kambai, played really well. But Dagenham and Redbridge, when it comes to late goals, they just seem to concede them, and that's what's put them in the gutter.
So why was it, apart from Dagenham being quite decent on the day, why did it take so long for Ndlovu to get the opener?
I mean, it's just one of those games. I mean, sometimes you're going to have it where it just doesn't fall for you. That's what it looked like. I mean, Barnet did have chances. As much as we could say Dagenham were resolute, Barnet arguably could have won this game maybe 2 or 3-0. I mean, the chance that Reece Brown had when Miles Kenlock pulled it back, when Miles Kenlock put it across the box and Ndlovu just didn't get a touch on it. The chance in the first half with Danny Collins almost heading it in. So Barnet had chances, but it's just one of those days where it may not fall for you, and just the rub of the green, it seemed that every time Barnet had a shot on goal, Dagenham player was getting in the way of it. But you just got to keep on pushing, got to keep on going. No game is going to be the same. You can't get the Oval game where everything you touch just goes in the back of the net, or the York game where every single time you went forward it seemed like you were going to score. But this game was a different game, but that's the quality of Barnet. You can win games differently. You can win games 5-0, 4-0, 3-0, 1-0, and that's what they've done today.
Well, when you want big results, you get your big name players, and it was Danny Collins, I'm pretty sure, who fed Ndlovu. Was it? I think it was Collins.
Yeah, I think Collins just played into Ndlovu, but Ndlovu is the hold-up play. He managed to hold off. I think it was Mark Hector that was on him, and to be fair, Mark Hector defended it well because it wasn't a great shot from Ndlovu, but he got the shot away. And yeah, Louis Jones, you won't want to look at that again.
And it's a shame really for him because he made a few really decent saves, including one from Collins in the first half from a corner. And you're right, obviously the complexion of the game could have been so different, but it wasn't. Yeah. And this is what champions are made of, right?
Absolutely.
Late goals, late winners, not necessarily playing your best, not necessarily picking those locks how you'd like to, but still being able to pull something out of the bag. And that has been the story of Barnet's season.
Yeah, big moments as well, and not just at the opposition goal, but at your own goal. Like I said, that Billy Clifford tackle, I mean, seeing that on the replay, you see how massive of a tackle it was. Owen Evans made a save from Lepali B early on in the second half as well. So when Barnet's key players had to step up, they did step up, and Ndlovu was one of them. Dean Brennan threw on all of his cards. Chapman came on, Clifford came on, and Love came on, Brown came on. So he was throwing everything at the game, and it was the substitute that was the winner. Billy Clifford tackle, or substitute. Ndlovu goal, substitute.
Indeed, yeah. Well, substitutes can change games, and in that case, so he brought on. Who did he bring on? He brought on Clifford. He brought on Chapman, Breed Brown. I mean, these are massive players to bring off the bench. Strength in depth, and ultimately, it probably was the strength in depth that won this game for Barnet.
Oh, absolutely, like I said, Chapman. I mean, Ndlovu had a big chance when Chapman crossed in and he headed it on the 6-yard line. He should have probably scored that. So Chapman changed the game. When he came on, he looked very dangerous. Almost scored with his first few touches, but like you said, Barnet got so much quality off the bench that you thought it was just going to be a matter of time before that one chance would come, and it came to Ndlovu and he took it.
He certainly did, and I remember saying on commentary actually when Ndlovu missed that header, I said there's going to be one more chance for him.
Yeah.
Again, we keep receipts here on Hive Live, so we can roll that back. The self-smug satisfaction of having called that. And by the way, when the goal went in, I just want to caveat, the commentary is of pure passion and excitement. I've completely lost my voice in that moment. It goes up and down, squeaking, squawking, so apologies for that, but it was just such a brilliant moment that hopefully we can all have a good laugh at that sort of commentary in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it's commentary you look back on and saying what a moment that was in the season.
I can't apologise for the passion, but I can apologise for the slightly croakiness of it. And you know, obviously the feel-good factor around this place is quite something at the moment. 12 points clear. Let's just have a look at the table then. 12 points clear above York City, who play Forest Green later, and obviously this will be dated if anyone watches it beyond when York and Forest Green play, because we don't yet know that result. But surely we want either a draw or a Forest Green, ideally a Forest Green win.
Yeah, I mean, a Forest Green win puts them, you know, on the same level of points as York on 70 points, and you'd like to think 12 points clear, with obviously they both still have a game in hand on Barnet, but 12 points clear for Barnet, you think that should be more than enough to see out towards the end of the season. Like you said, Barnet would have to fall off a cliff, at least lose 3 out of 9 games left. Could that happen? Anything can happen in football, but with the form Barnet in, with the way they're playing, I think that's very, very unlikely to happen. And to be fair for York, it's a big game because, like I said, playoff seeding, you know, talking about finishing third and second, there's obviously a big difference between that and who you play. So I think York got to see it as, listen, before Barnet won the game officially, York knew they had to win really all of their remaining games. They would have expected Barnet to win this game, given that it's Dagenham Redbridge, but the way Barnet have won could be a bit of deflating to them, because they'd probably be checking their phones thinking 90th minute is gone, it's still 0-0. Then 2 minutes later you see Ndlovu scored, it's like, oh, Barnet have just done it again. But York City have done the same. How many late goals have York City scored?
Taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, taste of their own medicine. Every time we come and see York have done it again, and this time it's gone the other way. Well,
the form that Barnet are in is absolutely frightening.
Another clean sheet.
It's frightening. Exactly. Owen Evans, he made a couple of good saves as well today. He was tested. Yeah. He held on to the ball well, swept up when he needed to, and was calm. Even because that's the thing about these goalkeepers, when they don't have that much to do. Yeah. They can lose concentration. They're only human beings. But Owen Evans' concentration and mentality just seems to be on another level.
Absolutely. I mean, you could see the difference between him and goal and our previous goalkeeper as well. Like, just on the ball, I mean, he is just absolutely brilliant. He's so comfortable, his distribution is excellent, and he's exactly the type of goalkeeper defenders want to play with. That's why Barnes' defense looks so good, because it starts from the goalkeeper. He sets the tone, sets the precedent, and with him you always know he's available to pass back to. And since his inception to the team, he's been brilliant. How many clean sheets has he had within his 8-9 games he's played? He's been absolutely fantastic, and he's part of it. But also big up to the defence as well. Nick Tavares today, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He was the guy that had to deal with Umara and Lopalo B, and he was brilliant. There was only that one mistake he had, which Lopalo B was in on goal, and Billy Clifford made that tackle. But other than that, imperious performance from Nick Tavares. He's been brilliant ever since he's come back into the team. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right to mention Nick Tavares there. What a performance once again from him. He was up against Umara, had him in his back pocket, really, didn't he?
Got subbed off on his birthday.
Yeah, not a good. The only card he got was a yellow card on his birthday. Yeah, just to call back to that joke that we made on commentary. Yeah. Still worth a repeat. But yeah, Nick Tavares absolutely had his attackers on toes. When Lupalo B came on though, he offered, I think, more of a threat. I think we did say as well on comms that he did look more dangerous.
Yeah, said on comms that Lupalo B, I've seen him at academy level for Fulham. He's a very dangerous player, very nippy player. But I just think that when the big moments came for him, that when he's through on goal, he's got to get the shot off. You can't let Billy Clifford come back and make that tackle. But fair play to Billy Clifford, he never gave up. He could have just, let's see what happens. But he made the tackle, and that's a big moment. But Lupali, when he came on, he was different. He was way more involved than Josh Umara was. But Nick Tavares was a great performance for the whole Barnet team. Also, Miles Kenlock going forward. I mean, he was fantastic. That second half, he put at least 3 good deliveries in the area. No one could get on the end of it. He was fantastic as well.
Absolutely agreed. He was superb, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Drilled it into that box, and he was very unlucky not to get several assists.
Yeah.
One of the best players on the pitch. Idris Kanu, I thought, as well, had a really good game on that right-hand side. He had Regan Clayton, who could have very easily been sent off there, made himself public enemy number 1 here at the Hive, as did the referee Paul Marsden, by the way. But Kanu had the better of him 9 times out of 10.
Always.
And Oscar Rutherford as well struggled to deal with him as well. Maybe did slightly better than Clayton in the end, but special mention for Kanu. But he was sacrificed for Cropper, who didn't really make much of an impact.
Yeah, he didn't make the impact he was intended for. The long throws didn't really cause that much danger. But I think Dean Brennan was just another dice to throw on. He's a tall guy as well, so any set pieces potentially he would be a big person in the box. But he didn't make the impact intended. But Dean Brennan's other subs were all brilliant.
Well, in the end, quality showed, and when you bring on the likes of Reece Brown, when you bring on Harry Chapman, and you have Ndlovu, who you just cannot afford that time and space in the box. I think just remember, because we're not looking at replays at the moment. He was so tight to him was the defender, and you thought, how's he going to manage to get the shot away? But he did. Goes to the near post, and as we've mentioned, should never have been able to score, but thankfully he did. No complaints from me, no complaints from any Barnet fans, because on the balance of play, the Bees were worth at least a goal. Yeah,
you'd say so. I mean, you could argue Dagenham, they defended brilliantly, and I mean, it depends what side you're on, to be fair, what side of the coin you see it as. Some would see it as Barnet were very wasteful, some would see it as Dagenham defended very well, and at part Dagenham did defend very well. They were putting their bodies on the line, and it's a sickener to concede a goal in that fashion as well, because like you said, the defence didn't do anything wrong, to be fair. Mark Hector was very tight on him, but Ndlovu's strength to hold him off and get a little yard, that's all it takes, a little yard to get the shot off, and it's stuck in at the near post.
Yeah, so obviously Dean Brennan rolled the dice, getting that's harsh. That's a harsh turn of phrase. He replaced Dom Telford with Ndlovu, and Telford, we were saying, I think had a half decent game. He had a couple of good opportunities. He put himself about. He holds the ball up really well despite his size. But it was Ndlovu with his 20-minute cameo that managed to make the difference. I mean, those two players are very different profiles, and you just wonder whether maybe Ndlovu could have started that game.
Yeah, potentially. I think because Ndlovu, he said he was feeling ill earlier in the week, so maybe that had an impact on whether he will start the game or not. But I think you look at the quality of chances that Ndlovu had compared to a Dom Telford. Ndlovu just gets the better chances, it seems, in these games. Dom Telford had that chance that he fashioned where he dribbled well and got a shot off which went wide, but in the second half Ndlovu gets in and about the box, he gets himself good positions. He could have had a hat-trick. That chance where Miles Kenlock played it across goal, he just missed the ball, he's got to get his foot on it. The chance where Harry Chapman whipped in the ball in the box and he headed it down, should have scored. That could have been his second goal, and obviously he did score eventually at the end. So Ndlovu gets himself good chances, it's just his conversion. If he converts more chances, he's going to be an absolute menace in whichever league he plays in.
Certainly is. Now, 9 cup finals to go. There's another one done here, and I do really wonder what Dean Brennan is going to say about this performance, given the amount of chances squandered, but thankfully got it done in the end. It is Woking away on Saturday, and Woking under Neil Ardley haven't been too bad form-wise, have they?
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, I'm looking at them in the table at the moment. They're again a side that's in and amongst the relegation mix. They're only 5 points off the relegation zone, 5 points off Broadstone, and then obviously 6 points off Maidenhead. So they're still fighting for their lives. It's a game at home, so they'll be looking at the game as a game where they could potentially win.
They don't lose many.
Yeah, they don't lose many.
The last loss was against York on the 8th of Feb, and that was 3-0. That was away from home. York, a tough place to go, obviously, for a side like Woking. But even before that, picked up some half decent results, draws and the such like. So it could be another Dagenham-esque game.
Yeah, I think just Woking's away form was really, really poor. I think at home is their best opportunity. And like you said, when you're at the bottom of the league, near there, fighting about, there's no such thing as a bonus game. Of course, Barnet will be favourites, because Barnet's last 2 away games, 4-0 at Rochdale and 3-0 at Oldham. I mean, you'll be thinking Barnet should win that game, 5-6?
Not how football works, is it? There were people who thought this was going to be a cricket score, and I was like, no way.
Yeah, you beat Yeovil 5-0 midweek, you think, Yeovil are better than Dagenham, so it should be 7-0. Didn't happen at all today, 9 minute goals needed, but I think Barnet going to that game, knowing that, we're going to dominate the ball, take our chances, we should win the game, but Woking fighting for their lives, and they've got to win that game. So again, it'll be a game similar to this, I think, fighting for their lives, defending, but I do think in the end the quality will eventually show, and Barnet have that in abundance that not many teams in the division have. Not even a team like York. I don't think York have that much strength and depth off the bench particularly.
Well, indeed. And let's just finish up then by reminding ourselves that Barnet are, as we record this podcast, 12 points clear at the top of the league, and we will see if York do win, then they're just about still in it. I would say.
Yeah, mathematically.
Yeah,
let's say it that way.
That's very confident of you. That's very confident of you. We like to maintain a level of healthy pessimism here.
Mathematically, they're still in it. I'm not.
No, of course. But if Forest Green are to get some sort of result there, that would be another huge positive for the Bees in the end. And you wonder whether York and Forest Green have one eye on the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think York will. To be fair, I think they're just looking at it as because to go into the playoffs, you want to go into the playoffs in good form as well. So I still think they'll be seeing it as, listen, we may not win the league, but we want to go into the playoffs off the back of good form. But like you said, you don't want to be in the playoffs. That's such a lottery, and we saw from last season that finishing second does not guarantee you going up in the slightest. I'd love to know the stats between the teams that finish second and teams that go up in the playoffs.
So Barnet came second last season with 86 points, and they're currently on 82 points, which means they can finish on a maximum of 109. Wrexham won the league with a record-breaking 111 points. Notts County finished second with 107 that season. That's kind of crazy, but a bit of a freak season that. So the maximum Bees can get is 109. You would fancy the Bees to get over 100 points on this current form?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, looking at the fixtures, all TOA's won, you're thinking, okay, that might be a potential slip up, but I think all the remaining games at home, regardless of who the opposition is, you'd expect Barnet to win, and that should be the target. As much as winning the league target, you also want to be a team that's remembered, and if Barnet were to get 109 points, that is going to be a side that will be remembered as one of the best ever teams to play at this level. Of course, can't get to the Wrexham 111, but to get 109 is still a fantastic achievement, and Barnet should be looking to get that.
So, who are you going for man of the match then, Brian?
So I'm going to go for Miles Kenlock. I thought he was absolutely brilliant in that second half. I think in terms of attacking, all the big chances came for him, other than that one Tilly in love that Harry Chapman set up. But I thought him down the left hand side was absolutely brilliant. He was beating his man, getting key deliveries in, and also defensively he was always solid. So I'm going for Miles Kenlock. A big shout out to him. Also from South London as well, so extra points for that.
South London represent, yeah. I'm in almost full agreement with you, but because you've gone Kenlock, I'm going to go for Nick Tavares.
Yeah,
I thought he was absolutely outstanding at the back.
Brilliant.
Once again. Well, as we continue on, can Barnet win their 4th National League title?
Oof.
They're in a brilliant place to do so, if they can just see these final championship rounds through. Thanks very much, Brian, for joining me on the Hive Live post-match podcast. I've been Rory Edwards. Make sure you do follow us on Hive Live Radio and follow all the Barnet channels, of course. And get yourself down to the games if you can, but if you can't, you're very welcome to listen to our coverage. And we hope to see you there on the live chat and on DAZN